Welcome to Bloodyflixx. I'm your host Pete.
And I'm Kyle, and we talk about all things bloody.
Today we're going to review the 2014 movie Trophy Heads.
Directed by Charles Band.
Starring Adam Roberts, Maria Olsen, Brink Stevens, Darcy DeMoss,
Jacqueline Lavelle, Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, and Denise Duff.
This is a movie that is a throwback to the mid-early 80s. A quest for a young, lonely boy who lives in his mom's basement to keep the spirit of the Scream Queens alive. Alright, there's a young gentleman who lives in his mommy basement. His name is Max, played by Adam Roberts. And he lives with his mother, Maria Olsen, who's his mother. And he's kind of a loner in a basement. Lives off of watching 80s horror movies, specifically Scream Queen movies.
B-horror movies.
Exactly. All the ones that Brinky, Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley, all those movies. He really is doing nothing with his life. And his mom caters to him every which way possible.
And he's probably a 40-year-old virgin.
Probably a 40-year-old virgin. And I do like the character. Adam Roberts, the guy that played Max, he actually played a good creepy kid that would live in a basement, or creepy man that would live in a basement. He played a good character. The mom was awesome in the movie. This is a movie that I did not know about. I forgot where I found it. And I told you about it. And so this is a new movie for us.
Yep.
Really. So, but anyway, Max and his mom, he's in his basement trying to find himself. He can't, everything he does doesn't involve anything. And he comes up with a certain plan to do something with his life. So what could that plan be?
Kill famous Scream Queens.
Yes. How does he do that?
Well, he puts them through scenes of their own movies in a sick, sadistic way. And if they don't do it how he wants it done, he actually kills them and cuts their heads off and mounts them on a wall.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I saw this movie Trophy Heads and all the actresses that were in it, I bought it just for that. Right away for Brinky, bought it. And actually, it's a really pretty decent movie. I would watch it again on a regular basis, just as some of the others. His plan to keep the Scream Queens alive because they're all older now, and which is fun because they didn't try to make them younger in the movie. They all have advanced past their acting careers. They all have normal lives.
Yeah.
And he goes out and kidnaps all of them and brings them back, and he wants them to reenact a scene from one of their famous movies that they're in, his version of it, and the end goal is to pretty much make copies of their heads to sell.
And keep the real ones on his wall.
Like deer. Like when you hunt a deer and cut off the head and put on plaque, that's what he does to all their heads. I actually went and tried to look for these masks online and I could not find them, so I don't know if that makes me creepy or what, but the funny part about this movie was that the mom was so eager to go along with it. Mom, I got a plan. You and help me kidnap women. And she's like, okay, son.
And it's kind of implied through some dialogue that his mom actually killed his dad, because earlier in the movie she's like, well, ever since your dad, and then she kind of pauses and says, left us, you're the best thing that's happened to me. And it's kind of that she's kind of nuts to begin with, so I could see why she went along with this kooky plan of his.
I'll tell you what, Maria also played a great creepy, kind of out of it mom.
Well, did you see the scene where she's vacuuming and she didn't even have the vacuum cleaner on the floor? It was like 6 inches above the floor when she's trying to vacuum their little holding cell where they had the girls. I was laughing when I seen that.
Yeah, I was really surprised. There's a lot of funny things. So in his quest to get, for him and his mom to kidnap these old actresses, he has to go find out where they're working now because they're not in movies anymore. They're doing their own unique thing. So Brink Stevens is a licensed massage therapist, and she's giving a young lady a back massage, who's Irina Murphy.
Yep.
who plays Julia. And the reason why they have this girl Julia in there is because they need a younger girl to show the boobs, because there's boobs in any horror movie, especially back in the era. And although I appreciate her boobs in the movie, I think the others would have been fine if they would have just kept with their normal 80s attire of showing their own. Even being a little bit older, I would have been fine with that, but I understand why they brought the character Julia, and specifically her job was to show her boobs, why the others did the majority of the acting. So I get why they did it.
And even in the movie, that she's even saying why she's naked.
Why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why don't I have an outfit?
Yeah.
So that was actually funny that they did that, because the other ones are older now, and they're bringing the young girl to show her boobs. So you get you guys that like that in movies. You guys get that. So they get Brinky. Linnea Quigley is now a born again Christian lady who has been saved by the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yep. Bathe in the blood of Jesus Christ.
Bathe in the blood of Jesus Christ. And they go attack her at the park, which is funny because they're in broad daylight, people around, and they're able to kidnap these women. Michelle Bauer is at a lemonade stand, or like a smoothie stand or something, and she's trying to sell autographs when she
sells a drink.
And the poor guy that she's selling to, he's like, I'm from out of town, wants exact change. And you can kind of see that, we go to a lot of conventions, we met these people, so a lot of these people, so you see at a convention when the actor who doesn't have, or the actress who doesn't have the bigger line compared to some of the others, so you kind of see them kind of in these roles, kind of, so it's kind of funny, but at the same time you're kind of like, wow, some of these actresses or actors might really be going through this. Yeah, they kidnap him, take him home, or take him back, and they build a special cell in the basement, and then makes him act out weird movies. What's Michelle? Not Michelle Bauer, but Denise Duff, and who's the other one?
Jacqueline Lavelle.
Yeah,
They're from Full Moon Pictures that Charles Band created, and those were the two that I didn't know who they were. I had to Google who they were, and after like seeing what movies they were in, it's like, why did you pick these two? You couldn't get like Barbara Crampton or somebody like that.
they were good.
They were good, but it's just like I would rather knew a couple more characters, actresses than
more in the timeline of exactly Brinky and Linnea, and Michelle, but they were good. I knew Duff. Why don't you tell the audience how we captured the two younger characters? They go at it nonstop in this movie.
Well, they set it up like they're going to an audition, and so Max is acting like the director, and he kind of directs them in a scene like there's a dead body laying on a table, and they want them to direct them how they would act towards them, like if it was their parent or something. And of course, Jacqueline, she's all yelling and screaming at the dead body how she hates them and all this crap and was glad that they died. And then Denise is doing it all serious, like crying and I miss you and all this, and that's how he kidnaps them. And they're like the two girls that fight for their lives. The other actresses kind of seemed like, oh no!
Yeah, Denise Duff is actually older, or at least they make her appear older. I believe she is older than the other character. But they're at the first audition, and they're auditioning for a 30s mom, and the younger girl's like, so you're still trying to play a 30s mom? So the one's kind of on her way out of acting, and the one's kind of still in it. So the rivalry, the whole movie about who's pretty much got the better movie, the better actress, because they're in their cell, and they pretty much, the cell only holds 3 people. There's 3 different cells. So when they bring in the last 2 girls, by then they've killed Brinky, and they've killed Brinkoff, and they're debating. They show clips. The guy showed clips of their actual movie on this little monitor, clips of all the movies, but he's also showing the clips when he had killed and who he had killed and how they did it. So the two start fighting about whose clip is better, about why is that considered a cult classic. And then she's like, oh, it's amazing what people consider a cult classic, and just the banter, and then they got to help each other out. And then Actually, they help each other at the end. And at the end, you really find out that they should die anyway.
And then after they're dead, they still banter when they're talking to each other.
And Linnea in the movie, Sister Linnea,
Sister Quigley.
Sister Quigley, she doesn't like cussing anymore. She, her and Brinky telling Brinky not to cuss so much, and Brink talks like I do. F this and F that. I'm like, you go, girl. And they're out. Can you please not talk like that in front of me? And so she has a story of why she's a born again, saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. And she tells a story to everybody there. And the guy, even when he kills these actresses, he still can talk to them. Like, you can still hear their voice.
Yeah.
Like, they're mounted on the wall, and he can still hear them talking, and then he hears them talking to each other. So when Linnea gets killed, they ask her what do you mean, Sister Linnea, or Sister Quigley? And she starts telling the story, and they're all like, oh, please don't ask. Don't tell a story. So, I don't know, it was a really unique story. The only gripe I do have is whoever, Mr. Director Charles, why did you not have Darcy DeMoss in it longer than just a scene on TV?
Yeah, she was like in the whole movie maybe 2 minutes the whole time. In fact, that's how the movie starts off, is she gets killed.
She's the first one that you see get killed.
And then like the rest of the time she's in the movie, it's just kind of like voiceover work.
Because you see her right there, Darcy DeMoss, and when you got to line up like Darcy, Linnea, Brink, Michelle Bauer, and the others, and you don't even really get to see Darcy, that's kind of disappointing. But all in all, it was a fun movie. I was really surprised. Like, I would watch this movie on a regular basis, not like every day, but I mean, I'd break it out once a month and watch it. I mean, it was pretty entertaining. It was cheesy, but cheesy good, like a B movie in the 80s would be. You still get to see, the Scream Queens. You still get to see some Hooters, even though they're not the ones that you want to see. But but they're there.
Hey, those were okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, we're guys, so of course they're okay. But and they had a lot of humor to it. I actually want to know from Brinks, in the scene where she ran away in her death scene, was that her running away, or was that someone else?
It might have been her. It kind of looked
because
like
if that was Brink running away, she's still looking good. And back in 2014, she still is good now, but because she's running away, and I'm like, dang, if that's her, you go, girl.
In fact, actually, her kill was probably my favorite. They're all kind of about the same. Like, they weren't nothing excellent kill-wise. They were just kind of all decapitations. But hers was the fact that she kind of fought back against the guy, and then she's running away, and he just shoots her with the arrow. Like the bow and arrow or whatever. So, I mean, it was the most interesting because at least they showed it. Like, all the other ones, it was just kind of a swipe of the hit.
Yeah, you got the sickle thing.
Yeah, that was it. And I was like, okay. So that would probably be my favorite kill of the movie. It was hers.
Yeah, by far. Because she's like, wait a minute, I have until the morning. If I'm alive in the morning, I get to be set free. And he's like, run.
Yeah.
Just run.
Yeah, no, you're not going to survive.
Yeah, but it was cool seeing a lot of our favorite Scream Queens in the movie. Cheesy, but yet funny. I was surprised about the movie, besides the lack of Darcy DeMoss in it. I was surprised. The characters are pretty good. Easy setup, simple. I'm not sure if people would, if you come up and just take someone at a park without anybody noticing. But
yeah, there was some things. It's like in broad daylight, you're kidnapping people by tasering them and then throwing them in a van. Nobody would notice that.
But Character Max was good. He played a good, creepy, older 40-year-old in the basement who pretty much lives through the TV and has no one, never had a girlfriend, probably still a virgin. His mom was pretty good mother for, that was a little off the chain herself. Characters, of course, good. I like seeing the older ones in there. It is sad seeing him, older, because he's got a point. I mean, you try to live through these movies and you see when they're older. I mean, they're all still beautiful ladies, and they're still act to this day. I think Brink and Linnea for sure. They still do movies. Yeah, for the most part, they're still doing movies. So I'm not too sure about the others, but yeah, I thought it was a good movie. So I don't know, if you get a chance, definitely buy Trophy Heads. Check it out. I think it was For me, in 2014, it was like you're back in the 80s again. I was pretty impressed.
And this is like a slasher movie, so, you know.
No, it's not really a slasher. I mean,
Well, it says right there, Scream Queen Slasher.
yeah, I mean, I guess consider a slasher because he just killed him, but the twist at the end when he kills the girls, you're thinking that he's killing the ladies for a trophy for them so he can savor them as they are now so they won't get any older. And then at the end, he's making molds of all their faces to sell to the public so everybody could have them as they are now. And that's when I went in there and I was like, hey, can I buy these? Because this is really cool for my room. But I know that's pretty creepy, but I actually looked to see if that was a mask. But I don't know, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, is there anything else in the movie that you really like shocked you besides the costume part was funny because everybody woke up, why am I in this costume? But
Well, like, a lot of the scenes that they did were from movies that I've never even seen or heard of, so that was the only thing that... Oh, rookie, huh?
I've seen more of the older P movies like that versus all the ones he's seen that I have not of the more slasher. But yeah, right away Brinky scene, I knew that movie because I watched it. But yeah, some of the others I didn't recognize the younger. What's her name?
Jacqueline LaBelle.
Yeah, Jacqueline LaBelle. I didn't know her movie. It was more like that creature in a basket type thing. It wasn't Basket Case.
Oh, they said what it was in the movie. It was Head of the Family.
That's it, and I've not seen the movie, so but I mean they play good parts. I really don't know who you could have. I would rather have them would have picked off one, kept Darcy in there and took out one of the younger ones, but it's all good. I liked it.
So what do you get for...
I would say out of blood drops, I would give it a 3 out of 5 blood drops. I would definitely watch this on a pretty regular basis.
I'd give it 3 out of 5 blood drops also. I've already watched it a couple times. Even though the second time I watched it, I don't know if I just kind of I liked it more the first time I watched it. Maybe it's because now that I've seen it and the second time, the two characters that are from movies I haven't seen, I think kind of brought it down for me. But if I watch the movies that they were in, it might help boost my watchability for this again. But like I said, 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, 3 out of 5 blood drops for me too. I think if they would have reversed it and had the younger ones killed first and Brinky or Linnea survive late towards the end,
Yeah, that might
would have been better because they've been in more movies and her survived through more stuff like that. And they're by far Brinks and Linnea were on my Scream Queen list, number 1. So kept them at the end. But other than that, but anyway, watch this movie. You will definitely enjoy it. A flashback to all the great Scream Queen legends of the past. Until then,
stay bloody.